Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to be talking about some of my most anticipated 2018 releases. The first book that I want to bring to your attention is none other than Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare, because Queen in Air and Darkness. Like, do I really have to say anything more? It's the third book in the Dark Artifices series. If you read Lord of Shadows, you know that it left off on a horrible cliffhanger, and I need to know what's going to happen, as well as all of you. I'm sure you're feeling the same way that I am after reading the end of that book. It was heartbreaking, it was devastating, we want to know what's gonna happen, and we will get it soon. Soon. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna come, and it's gonna be amazing, and I can't wait. The second book I have on my list is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the what is it? It's like either a novella or it's a short story compilation that kind of sets the first series in the Court of whatever series and the second spin-off series books. I'm still confused as to how the series and, you know, world is going to continue to play and what books are going to be what and I'm still confused. On Goodreads, it says that it's supposed to bridge the gap between Akawar and the upcoming books. So, I mean, that makes more sense than whatever jumble I was trying to say. Basically, and I'm reading this from my phone, Feyre and Rhys and the gang are rebuilding the Night Court, and the winter solstice comes and things are revealed and things happen, and that's about as vague as they can get. Third on my list, and these are in no particular order, I'm not anticipating one more than the other, they're just listed on my list, is Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I read Vicious for the first time this year. This is the sequel to Vicious that is coming out, what, like 5 years later? I just now read Vicious, so I didn't have to wait that long for it, but I'm sorry for you guys who have been longtime Vicious fans and are just now getting your sequel, but here it is, it's this year. So if you haven't read Vicious yet, you need to, because it's really, really good. I read it in, I want to say, like a day and a half. It really took me no time at all. And it's about supervillains and, you know, powers. These two guys were really good friends, and then it jumps forward 10 years in time and they're complete enemies, and you have to figure out like what happened, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth in time. And it's amazing, and it's so freaking good. And if you haven't read it, highly recommend. Granted, there are lots of trigger warnings in the book for like suicide and things like that, so if you have any problems with that, I probably wouldn't pick it up. It's a very dark story, but very good. And I can't wait to see where Vengeful goes. I've heard some rumors as to what's happening in the book, but I've heard nothing concrete yet, so I'm really excited to see where it's gonna go. Plus, V.E. Schwab. Enough said. Next on my list is Victoria Schwab's middle grade called City of Ghosts. It is, I think, coming out August 26th. She kind of calls it Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters, and I haven't seen either of those, but I'm ready for it either way. Basically, it is about a girl who's died, a ghost that brought her back, and their adventures together. I'm game. Next on my list is one that I am so excited about, it is not even funny, and that is Obsidium by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is the third book in the Illuminae files. I have been eagerly waiting this. It was supposed to come out in November, and then they pushed it back to March, and it just crushed my heart because I was ready for it last year, and I've had to wait over a year for— I just want to read it now. If you haven't read the Illuminae files yet, they are a really awesome sci-fi series told through emails and instant messages and, you know, AIs, and it's amazing. The story is so great and so kick-ass and so action-packed, you have to pick it up. I'm not gonna give away too much of what this book is about in case you haven't read the first two, but we do follow two brand new characters, one of which, if I name her, it will give away that somebody survives in the first two books that we don't know about until you get to this book. It's confusing, but I'm not gonna give it away. Two new characters, we go back to Corenza. Some shit's gonna go down, let me tell you. March 13th is the release date, and I really want to reread the first two books, which is probably going to happen considering I read them like that, because they just go by so fast regardless of whether they're nearly 700 pages. It's crazy. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know, because I definitely am going to reread them. The next book that I am highly anticipating in 2018 is Restore Me by Tahereh Mafi. I read the Shatter Me series in 2016, I think, and I really really liked it. The books got better as the series went on, and I'm really looking forward to this book, not really for the story and the plot, because I really don't care what happens to, you know, the establishment, whatever it was called. I just want to read more about the characters. I just want to read more about Warner and Juliet and Kenji. I'm sorry, but I do. You could take these characters and place them in any setting or any plot whatsoever, and I'd want to read about them. I don't care about the plot. I just want to read about Warner and Juliet and Kenji and all the other people I can't remember the names of. Next, I have actually a contemporary that I'm really excited about, and it is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertelli. This book follows Leah, who was a major character in Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which was my favorite book by Becky Albertelli, and I'm just really excited about it because, one, look at this cover, it's gorgeous, and two, it's all about Leah and the gang are going through senior year, and she is struggling with trying to come out as bisexual. She's also trying to survive the cracks in their friendship as it kind of breaks apart during the middle of the book, I think, and trying to come to terms that college and life outside of high school is coming closer and closer, and it just sounds like a really great coming of age story that only takes place in senior year, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited about it. The second to last book on my list is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is the second or spin-off book to A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue that I read this past year, and it was included in like the July Owl Crate, I think, and I read it as soon as I got it, and it was so freaking good and cute, and I can't wait for this one because of 3 reasons. Number 1, Felicity is a total badass. If you haven't read the first book, you need to. She's amazing. Number 2, travel and pirates? Come on. And number 3, a science girl gang in the 1800s. How could you not want to read this? And finally, my last most anticipated read of 2018 is going to be The Trials of Apollo Book 3, The Burning Maze, I think it's called. Originally, this actually wasn't going to be on my list. It's kind of hard to say that. I just added it on my list right after I made my book talk for The Trials of Apollo, because going through it again just reminded me of how much I'm actually excited for this, how much is going to happen. I had totally forgot most of what happened in the second book, and so that's why I think I didn't put it on this list, but after I went through it and like thought about it and remembered my feelings, I'm really excited for the third book because stuff is gonna go down and I am ready for it. If you haven't read this series, basically Apollo has been cast down from Olympus as a mortal and forced to go on quests to try to retain his godlyhood, and it's really funny, and we get lots of cameos from lots of characters in the past, and it's just great. If you've read Percy Jackson, you know that Apollo's character is so hilarious, so these books are great. I personally like the first one more than the second one, and I'm hoping the third book just gets even better. Also, the end of the Magnus Chase series, the third book, kind of hinted that something was going to happen, so I'm eager to find out if that's going to play out in the Trials of Apollo 3, or if that's going to play out in a different thing that he's working on, maybe? Possibly? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm excited either way. And so those are all of my 2018 most anticipated releases. Please let me know if you share any of the same sentiments about these books. If you're excited about any other books that I didn't mention, please leave them down below because I'd love to discover new things. I will leave listed all down below the books that I mentioned as well as their respective release dates if I forgot to include that while I was talking because I only did it for a few of them. And if they don't have release dates yet, it'll be TBD because, you know, publishers like to make us wait and like to surprise us all the time. It sucks, but it's true. So that's gonna be the end of this video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Goodbye!